This video is about how to actually get out of a rut and get back on track. I found in my own experiences, plural, of being stuck in a rut, that when I peel away the layers, it all boils down to one thing really. In this video, I'll bring you through what that is and what you can do about it. When I look at what was going on and as I dug deeper through the layers of reasons for staying stuck in that rut, too much tiredness and exhaustion to have the energy to do anything about it, numbing out with distractions like staying really busy or entertainment, a pattern shows my number one reason for getting stuck into and staying in a rut. Before I get into that, I'm going to guess that you're a conscientious and thorough person, pretty good at getting things done, and you don't mind hard work. You might intentionally make decisions to postpone tasks that you know you can and will complete later. From experience, you know how long you will need to do the task and you trust yourself to do it. You might have learned how important it is to have healthier boundaries. Isn't this ever not important? You know that mushy or non-existent boundaries can quickly put you in a position of being a victim of something outside of your control. And you might be alerted to any other indicators that put you in the position of victim of something out of your control. It may surprise you then when I ask you if the main reason for getting stuck in a rut and simply staying there is simply due to procrastination. Now, you might disagree. If you're a conscientious and hard worker, then you might not consider yourself a procrastinator in a lot of areas in your life. But I can share a few indicators of procrastination with you that may be insidiously at work in other significant areas of your life where you might feel stuck in a rut. Right alongside the areas of life that are in flow, where you're as busy as a bee, being unprocrastinating. When you're new to something or you don't fully know what you're doing, do you flat out procrastinate where you can't make decisions or act on time? And you tell yourself this is okay because you're good at intentional procrastination and that's what's going on here. In my case, an example I've noticed this always gets me is in the context of academic studying. When you're feeling stuck on something important in your life, do you use being nice and wanting to help people as a sort of habitual tendency where it becomes an excuse for not doing things you need to be doing? This one's difficult because, of course, you want to help others, but it's also mushy boundary territory. You can identify it as something convenient when it starts letting you off the hook for making change. Full disclaimer, I still do this. There are certain areas in my life where I'm still a people pleaser and a good girl. When you're feeling stuck and not knowing what to do, are there any other habitual tendencies that you have that are good and wholesome, but also letting you off the hook of having responsibility for the situation you're in or for making the change you want to make? An example of this could be seeing a rut you're in as being karma from a past life or alternative lifetime or a spiritual contract that has led you to self-sabotage and kind of allows you to stay stuck. The warning bells that ring for me here aren't for the beliefs themselves. Again, they're for anything that doesn't allow for change to happen. I looked up procrastination while preparing this video and wow, wasn't very complimentary towards poor old procrastination. It seems to have become a bit of a pariah. If you've watched any other videos of mine, you'll have noticed that I don't subscribe to the status quo when it comes to how we treat ourselves when we don't perform adequately. Perform for who? And who in the world elected themselves to judge what is adequate, right? So to come back with compassion to the areas of life where you might feel stuck and where there might be a little bit of procrastination going on, let's have a look at that and what might be behind this response. We might even be able to forgive ourselves a little bit for it. Imagine that. If you're like me, you might definitely relate to the style of procrastination that is overwhelmed procrastination. This is where you feel so overwhelmed by the tasks that you need to complete that you end up procrastinating, especially when you're not sure where to start. An example would be where you might want to make a lot of positive changes in your life, but end up not doing anything because you don't know which of many aspects of your life you should start with. When a task looks hard, you might delay before you get started on it. And even though you might be angry with yourself if you don't get started, you might still find it hard to. Some other ways procrastination might poke its little head up for you might be spending an excessive amount of time and effort on unimportant issues and then finding yourself doing tasks that you had intended to do days before. Avoiding anything relating to the task that you need to complete and getting stuck even though you know how important it is to get started. Constantly putting things off, or when you have a deadline, waiting till the last minute before you get started. Needlessly delaying finishing jobs, even when they're important. Being upset or annoyed at the reason why you have to complete the task or postpone working on things you don't like doing. And another favourite of mine, fantasizing about what you will be able to accomplish in the future once you stop procrastinating. That's a good one. This has kept me entertained for hours. The way I deal with overwhelmed procrastination is that I make a bunch of mini goals that I can reach along the way. And as a celebration, I give myself prizes for reaching them. This makes the process so much more fun, and it takes the weight off the end goal. Making goals are great and all, but I don't find an end goal a long way off is enough to get me to keep moving forward with something that's difficult to stick with. I have to enjoy the process. Otherwise, I find it hard to see the point. This way I can enjoy the completion and celebration lots of times along the way. I don't have a specific ceremonial celebration. Please do that if that's what you like. It's more that I build evidence of my trustworthiness to follow through on something I commit to. Then I celebrate all of these built up achievements by enjoying buying something when I decide I want it. I can go a long time without buying stuff and then suddenly I want a whole bunch of stuff. I don't go down the guilt route when that feeling hits me. I have been down that road way too many times. I only buy what I can afford, and if the old guilt pokes its head up, I have evidence of progress. I know the place of buying stuff to fill a void when an area of life is causing me a lot of stress. And if that's what you're feeling right now, whatever that area is, might be an example of where you may be in a rut. This could be a good place that you could bring awareness to and where you might be holding back from making change. If you want to hear more about why so many women feel life is passing by and how to fix that, click here. Thank you for giving me your precious time and attention.